sa akong experience kag observation sa mga nahibaloan ko sa mga classmates ko, dako gid ang effect ang sang kwarta kag sa to sang kabuhi sa oportunidad sang isa ka estudyante.
Tapos mga pamasahe, mga project muna ito kadako gud sang epekto sa sang kwarta.
May kwarta bala may chance kapag gani nga pwede kaya makasulod sa nami nga mga eskwelahan bala.
Education is the great equalizer. Or is it? Can education truly empower all students, especially those from marginalized or culturally diverse backgrounds? Paulo Freire, Glenn Aikenhead, and Filipino educators have raised some points that might make us rethink education's role as the great equalizer. First point. Education is never neutral. Education often appears to be a tool for empowerment, but both Paulo Freire and Glenn Aikenhead argue that it can function as a mechanism of control.
Freire, in Pedagogy of the Oppressed, critiques what he calls the banking model of education, where teachers deposit knowledge into passive students. This method discourages critical thinking and reinforces the status quo, effectively maintaining systems of oppression.
Aikenhead supports this view by describing how school science can feel like a foreign culture to many students, especially those from indigenous or non-Western backgrounds. Learning science isn't just about new content, it's about adapting to an unfamiliar way of thinking.
So, education in both cases is not just about learning. It's about whose worldview is being centered and whose is being sidelined. Second point, one size fits all. Teaching marginalizes learners.
Freire argues for a problem-posing approach to education, where teachers and students co-create knowledge through dialogue. This approach values students' experiences and empowers them to question and reshape their realities.
Aikenhead's research echoes this by showing that many students struggle in science not because they lack ability, but because the teaching style doesn't match their cultural background. His category of I want to know students illustrates this well. These are learners who are curious and capable, but the way science is taught alienates them. This mismatch is also visible in the Philippine context. In a 2020 study by Louis Dasas, science teachers recognized the value of culturally responsive teaching. They saw that making lessons relevant to students' lives and allowing space for students' voice led to more engagement, especially among students who would otherwise be overlooked.
Therefore, uniform teaching methods often benefit those already aligned with dominant norms, while marginalizing others. Third point, education can reproduce inequality.
Freire emphasizes that education can reinforce systemic inequality when it discourages students from questioning social structures. It becomes a tool of oppression when it trains students to adapt rather than transform their world. This reality is seen in the Philippines. A 2022 study by the Philippine Institute of Development Studies revealed that students from wealthier families are overrepresented in public state universities. These schools were designed to promote equity through free education, but entrance requirements still favor those with access to quality preparation.
Similarly, Aikenhead's concept of inside-outsiders shows how students interested in science can still be excluded if their cultural identity clashes with the dominant norms of school science. The system often doesn't adjust to meet them. It expects them to conform.
Without intentional reform,
Education does not close social gaps. It may even widen them.
So back to our question. Can education truly empower all students? The answer is yes, but only if it breaks away from traditional oppressive models. Education must recognize cultural differences, reject one-size-fits-all methods, and awaken them about their own oppression and help society progress in a way that does not reproduce more inequalities. Freire, Aikenhead, and Filipino science educators all show us that education can be empowering if it's critical, dialogic, and culturally responsive. What does this mean for us teachers, students, and policymakers? It means rethinking what it means to teach. Teachers should not just be content experts. They should be cultural guides. They need to listen, to adapt, and to help students navigate unfamiliar academic worlds without forcing them to abandon who they are. It also means reevaluating institutional systems. If quality education is only available to those who are already privileged, we've missed the point. Education should close gaps, not widen them. Ultimately, education should not just prepare students to succeed in the system, it should help them transform it.